Chapter 14 Fall of the Vagabond. After Ryan's capture, Michael had discreetly followed the cars back to the docks of Los Santos until he lost them in the industrial backlots. The crew had kept up the impression that they didn't know their comms had been compromised, claiming they'd lost sight of the cars, that they'd have trouble tracking them down, and bickering after a failed heist like they would usually, just in case anyone was listening on the airwaves. Afterwards, the crew met back at the safe house to debrief. "Damn it, Ryan," Jeff muttered to himself as the others settled in. "For a smart guy, he always has to go and do the stupid thing." "To be fair, Jeff, it might not be the stupid thing," Jeremy suggested cautiously. "I mean, they're gonna have to do something with him now, which means they can't just go back into hiding." Jeff pondered this for a moment, hands over his face, fingers rubbing at his temples. "Hey, guys," Gavin sang out, eyes glued to his laptop. "Looks like we got an invite from Shadles." "The fuck?" Michael asked incredulously. "An invite for what?" "Some live stream thing. Should I accept?" "Looks like we all got it." Jeff's eyebrows furrowed. "Someone accept it, but be ready to power off if something weird happens." Gavin spun his laptop around for the rest of the crew to see, settling in on the arm of the sofa, while Jack got up to stand behind, leaning on the back of the sofa over Jeff and Michael. The screen was black, save for a scrolling display on the left side showing usernames of people joining. A view counter in the bottom right-hand corner showed there were 212 people currently viewing, and it was steadily going up. "Unmute your audio, dude," Michael urged Gavin, who quickly complied. He cranked up the volume, and they could hear shuffling of people moving things around, setting up for something. "I have no idea what we're looking at here. This might be a distraction or something to confuse us," Jack suggested. Suddenly, the black screen was white. Then, as the camera was adjusted to the light in the room, the crew could see the figure of Ryan come into view. The caption at the bottom of the screen read, "Fall of the Vagabond, Fake AH Crew." Oh, fuck. The setup crew were finishing up and checking their equipment when Shadles returned with that horrible smile. 200 viewers already, and we haven't even begun. Ryan felt his mind had been shattered into a million tiny pieces, and he was grasping at them to try to reassemble it. The pain at the back of his neck wasn't subsiding. What is this? Who is watching? "Everybody," Shadles said with a grin. "The fall of the Vagabond's big news. People always tune in to watch the fake AH Crew. Haven't you ever watched the news? Every heist you pull gets media coverage. But even better, I've personally sent invites to the others, all the rival gangs, and the rest of your crew." The crew. God, he hoped they'd be able to get to him. Shadles glanced down at his phone. "They've accepted my invite. Looks like it's showtime." "Don't let him get into your head." He was already so shaken. Shadles had already managed to bring his guard down, and that was what scared Ryan the most. Find a way to get the upper hand. Stay in control. "Zutura," Shadles called out to the larger man. "Gonna need your help for the stream. Just follow my lead. You might want a baton or club or something, too. Something to mix it up." The larger man, Zutura, smirked and went to fetch whatever blunt implement he had in mind. Trying to keep his mind off the burns, Ryan bounced a little on his toes, testing the hoist and his bonds. They held fast, only biting further into his skin and jolting his shoulders. He rubbed his fingers against themselves and clenched his fists. His right hand was going numb already, and his arms were steadily following suit. Zutura returned with the golf club Ryan had been assaulted with before, and lingered in the doorway. The setup crew gave a nod to Shadles to indicate they were ready, and all talk and movement ceased in the room. "On set," Ryan thought grimly. A red light blinked on the main camera, which was aimed directly at him. Shadle stayed carefully out of frame for the first few moments, as Ryan could see by a monitor at the side of the room. Great. I get to watch too. If his situation hadn't been so dire, he might have been amused by the concept. Ladies and gentlemen, Shadles began, I welcome you to witness the fall of the Vagabond. Ryan rolled his eyes under his mask. For fuck's sake. Shadle stepped into view of the camera, facing Ryan. As many of you will know, the fake AH crew has been terrorizing the streets of Los Santos for more than 7 years. The Vagabond has been acting on their behalf for more than half that time. But now, Shadles paused, looking back to the camera with that smile. We have him. Out of sight to the cameras, Shadles nodded to Zatora, who silently stalked over with the club in hand and took a full-force swing into Ryan's abdomen, causing him to jerk his legs upward, nearly dislocating his shoulders with the movement. But aside from a stifled grunt, Ryan made no sound. He struggled for breath as the next blow connected with his ribs, and he heard an audible crack. He clenched his jaw to stop from screaming, hissing breath through his nose. Shadles held up a hand, and Zatora's onslaught paused. We would like to know a little more about the fake AH crew. Shadles addressed Ryan directly. Like where they're currently hiding. Ryan gave the slightest shake of his head, but he remained stoically silent. In that case, we'll have to continue. The crew watched on as Ryan was pummeled, paralyzed by what they were seeing. The only saving grace was that they couldn't see his face under the mask. They knew it was him by the way he held himself. Even through the blows, it was definitely Ryan. The man hitting him had switched from the golf club to his bare fists, but it didn't look like it hurt any less. Jack suddenly broke the silence. We can't just watch this. We have to do something. Gavin sprang to his feet first and rushed to get his other laptop. I'll find out where they are. He started by searching satellite images and city plans of the area Michael had followed the car to for any place that might match where they were keeping Ryan. He also opened a small window for the stream and placed it in the corner of his screen. Someone needs to keep an eye on what's happening with Ryan, Jeff said, rising to his feet as well. Jack had already turned to organize something in clear indication he wouldn't be able to watch it. Michael was very quiet and looked pale as he stared wide-eyed at the screen. Michael, Jeff spared him. I need you to start getting some sticky bombs ready. Taking inventory. We need to be ready to go as soon as we get a lock on them. Michael looked up at him and gave a small, relieved smile. I'm on it, Jeff. I can kind of keep half an eye on it, suggested Gavin, pointing to the small window on his screen, but cringing slightly as Ryan caught a blow to the face. I'll watch, volunteered Jeremy. I'm keeping track of all these usernames, too. I'm screen capping it. Something might come up. As he looked back to the screen, they noticed a comment box had opened at the bottom of the window, and text messages were starting to scroll up the side of the screen. What the fuck? Jeff stared bewildered as he started to read the messages aloud, causing Michael and Jack to peek their heads back around the doorframe. LOL, can't believe you caught the Vagabond. Randoms for life. Jeff read aloud. Oh, for fuck's sake, what the fuck is this shit? Shadles again halted the larger man's attacks on Ryan and turned to the camera, moving to take up the full view of the screen. Some of you may have noticed that we have opened the comments on this stream. This is for 2 reasons. Firstly, proof we are live, for those who may doubt it, and secondly, we are now taking suggestions. What would you like to see us do to the Vagabond? The first comment popped up on its own and froze on the screen for just a few seconds. It simply read, "Skin him alive." Everyone held their breath. Then the comment stream unfroze and a wall of text rolled up the side of the screen. They could catch words, but not whole comments. Burn, shoot, slice, fingers, eyes, tongue. Too good for him. Fuck! Go! Shadow's eyes lit up as he read the comments now flowing in. Oh, very creative. Some of these are good. Even you'd be impressed, Vagabond. Zatora picked up the golf club and gave one more swing at Ryan's chest for good measure before stalking off to get a drink, while Shadles continued his show for the cameras. Ryan was already spluttering from the blows he'd sustained, but the final hit made him heave, coughing blood into the inside of his mask. He wished in vain he could have spatted at Shadles. I'd have thought you'd be more willing to give us information, especially after your own crew set you up. Ryan stiffened. He shouldn't have been surprised, but it was still jarring to hear. Of course Shadles knew. It had been set up through the compromised communication system. They knew that Jeff had set him up to be ambushed, and they knew he'd foiled it. I've heard the things they say about you, behind your back, how they call you mad, claim you can't be trusted. I've heard you turn on them before. Judas. The brand stung off the back of his neck. Ryan tried to block it out. Don't let him get to you. They still don't trust you, you know. They're just waiting for you to sell them out. Even now, watching this, they are watching, by the way. What? Who's doing that? Oi! Jeremy, is that you? Gavin called out in surprise, making his way into the living room, laptop in hand. What's going on? Jeff's head appeared in the doorway, followed by Jack and Michael. Jeremy was set up in front of 4 laptops and the gaming system running on the TV, with the live stream up on all of them, logged in under everyone's different user IDs. Jeremy was furiously typing comments, bouncing from one device to another as the others tried to make sense of what was going on. Little help? Asked Jeremy. I only have so many hands. What are you doing? Michael asked, squinting to read the comments as they came up on the TV screen. Wait, are you logged into Ryan's account? I'm logged into all of your accounts, except Jeff's. I don't have your password, but it'd look good if you logged in too. Jeff's eyes scanned over the comments, picking out Ryan's ID from the list. BM Vagabond. Aw, a tribute stream. How sweet. You shouldn't have. BM Vagabond. I don't know what kind of stunt you're trying to pull, but I like it. BM Vagabond. FYI for those playing along at home. That's not me. BM Vagabond. I have a much better physique. Jeremy had been using Ryan's account to cast doubt. Jeremy, you're a fucking genius, Jeff exclaimed. Back him up, lads. He logged into his own account and started typing comments. DG Jeff, you're all idiots. Vagabond's laughing his ass off on the couch next to me. M. Jones, kids will do anything for attention these days. J. Duels, man in a wheelchair stole your camo jacket. www.youcanhidebutYouCan'tRun.com. Jack P. What kind of asshat pulls a stunt like this and expects to get away with it? Gavino Free. Vagabond, do you think he's doing you justice? BM Vagabond. Hard to say. Willing to bet he looks better than you under that mask, though, Gavino. J. Duels. Want to look more like Gavin? www.knowsnoboundaries.com. Luke J. Gavin scoffed, and the rest of the crew giggled. Can't make it seem like we're taking this too seriously, Jeremy explained. He's got a point, admitted Michael. Some of the commenters were beginning to agree with them, asking questions of their own. The fake AH crew clearly still had some supporters. I'm Carly. How do we know that is the Vagabond? Proof? Von Griff 58. Fake AH crew aren't convinced. I'm calling BS. Eva Sothrode. Anyone checked Snopes? Hoax? Pingnuts 007. It's clearly a stunt. Fake AH crew probably set it up themselves. They've been shit since Brown Man left. They're desperate for attention these days. Ouch. Their eyes drifted back to the image on the screen. It was hard to tell under the mask, but Ryan wasn't looking so good. Eventually, Shadles checked the comments for feedback and looked mildly annoyed. Seriously? He raised his eyebrows at the camera, seemingly looking directly at the crew. You're all doubting me now? The comments turned viciously, demanding proof, claiming no one knows what he looks like anyway under the mask. His eyes scanned over his own screen disapprovingly. Oh, I see where this is coming from. Shadles looked back at Ryan, his head now hanging limply, but the crew could see his eyes still alert beneath the mask. Looks like your crew got into your account. That's right, motherfucker, Michael growled at the screen. Let's see you turn this around. Ryan's head twitched at the mention of the crew, but other than that, he said nothing and showed no signs of responding. The comments were still scrolling, many now demanding proof. Jeremy jumped for the only unmanned laptop at the table, the burner he'd picked up to try to infiltrate the randoms. With deft fingers, he logged in and furiously tapped at the keys. Notorious DLC. Make him confess he's the Vagabond. Jeremy! What the hell? Gavin cried. Jeff jumped in before Jeremy could explain himself. Ryan's not gonna give him shit. Lil J just bought him more time. Within seconds, other commenters were in agreement, and the call for a confession went up. They watched the screen as Shadles grinned and turned back to Ryan. Seems they want a confession. Care to tell them who you are? Predictably, Ryan said nothing. Jack stood. Guys, come on. We gotta move if we want to get him back in one piece. The crew nodded, but their eyes remained fixed to the screens. Shadles' eyes drifted back to the comments, a smile playing on the edge of his lips. Unmask him? Ooh, maybe. If you insist. His smile widened as he looked over the comments rolling in.